Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to Hearthstone. So, still going on, still playing the game off screen so we get down to just one recording per every 3 days. I need to make a victory with Shaman, a victory with Paladin, and that should be it. Let's go ahead and open this pack right now from last time. I didn't even get this pack on screen last time. Again, this is happening because, frankly, I've hurt my back and I've spent probably a week now just lying in bed and sleeping. And it's slowly, but just ever so slowly getting better. I've finally gotten to a point as of today where it's not too bad. And I could have probably, had I not had non-YouTube stuff to do, started recording the bit of Assassin's Creed that I need to do. The reason, of course, I need to do Assassin's Creed is to push the Ghostbusters series further into the... Why can I not find the card that... I'm in crafting mode, I bet that's the deal. Yeah. Well, whatever. They're all gone now. Buggy game, whatever. Let's start with Shaman. Shaman, give me a victory. There was a quest, by the way, that was to get 5 tavern victories on Tavern Brawl. I tried it for a while and just said, forget it. It's not gonna happen. So I traded down a 60 gold quest for a 40 gold quest, unfortunately, just because those Tavern Brawl quests for 60 are ridiculous. So, yes, I need to push the Ghostbusters the video game to the Ghostbusters the movie release, which is now, since I've recorded the game, the Ghostbusters game release also. They've decided at the last second, so it's probably not going to be very good. Sanctuary of Slime is similarly not that great of a game. But I will cover it. I'll cover them both. Why not? But they've just announced at the last second that they're coming out with
I'll be a real knight.
Job's done.
a Ghostbusters game that features 4 or 5 new rookies. So it's not the women from the movie. It's not the people from Ghostbusters 1 and 2. It's just a whole nother set of people, which is rather strange.
We're using real swords.
So who knows? It's gonna be a top-down shooter, kind of like Sanctuary of Slime, and it's being released by Activision, not Atari, who released Ghostbusters video game a long time ago. So there's definitely some weirdness going on all of that.
We're using real swords.
Do I want to kill this guy? He's gonna deal 1 damage to all minions. So I'm just gonna end my turn here. Beyond the Ghostbusters game being announced, not a lot has happened as far as the news. I just read the news. Ark Survival Evolved apparently there was a lawsuit going on involving that. Don't know really what any of that was about. However, so let's see. Go ahead and kill this guy.
Real swords.
That lawsuit finished, and they gave 40 million to somebody, and I think I barely even read the article, but I mean, it seems like some shadiness about one group being hired to make the game and then them trying to find a second group to make the game in violation of a contract or something like that, or poaching employees so that the I don't even know. It seems weird. All these weirdness things, I don't even know if there's something I should bother looking into. I am going down a path of how pure should I keep my vision as far as video games. Should I bother to report on what's happening in the video game industry, or am I just or should I simply stay 100% a video game reviewer who doesn't care what happens in the industry? Like, for instance, a great example of this is the game Too Human, which is a pretty bad game, but an amazing story that I really wish had completed its planned trilogy, which of course I always say, never plan a trilogy. Don't make planned trilogies, make one good game. But I really wish that would go somewhere, but it's simply just never going to happen. In fact, I don't even think anybody would probably give the creators of the game the time of day at this point. Whether they were in the wrong or the other team, and I think the courts finally settled that they were in the wrong. And the whole story there was that Too Human was made on the Gears of War engine, which is called... what? Is that the Unreal Engine?
X marks the spot.
Or is it called something else? I don't know. And basically they were asking for an awful lot of help, it seemed like, to get the game to run, and eventually the people who made Gears of War were like, we've got to make our own game here, and so and they were making a Gears of War sequel at that time, so they kind of stopped answering them, and then I think what happened in the story is that they finally said, we'll just have to make our own engine, and then the people that made the Gears of War engine said, no, you really just copy and pasted all the elements of our engine and then now not paying us the licensing fees for it. This kind of is why a lot of companies these days don't like licensing engines anyways. They would much rather spend millions and millions more to just create their own in-game engine. The real solution there would be if it would just all be open sourced, but that's hard to convince anybody to do, and the engine maintain its cutting edgeness. So I definitely ask myself as a video game reviewer, what kind of video game reviewer do I want to be? Do I want to be the person who talks about the industry really not having any special access or knowledge there? Or do I want to be just 100% focused on the games? And I'm not sure which one is the solution. I think I'll probably grow to learn that. Much in the way as I'm slowly approaching the 100,000th view, I'm about 1,200 views short, so probably in less than a week I'll be over 100,000. I've got bits of that video already recorded. It's going to be something, I think it's going to be somewhat special. You've probably been able to see it by the time you see this video, almost certainly. So I plan on, even though I haven't recorded, I plan on going, yay, thanks for watching, all this really fast, and then I plan to just transition into talking about how 100,000 views really doesn't mean as much as you might think. So I'm gonna try to keep it positive, but in a lot of ways, just inherently there's a lack of positivity that is gonna get thrown in here when I start being realistic. So with the viewers. So I will probably say thank you for watching all of this. Now if you don't want to hear any of the dark side of this, just stop hitting it right now. Skip to the end. Or whatever. Skipping to the end really doesn't do anything in YouTube. So, but whatever. There's more at the end for this. I'm planning on putting more at the end. Just a quick little coda, I believe is the phrase, to wrap it up. Revenue has gone down again. So, like, the last 7 days has been, we're down to 75 cents for the last flowing 7 days. I don't know if this is because of things changing, because we're transitioning to the next series, or just Whisper of the Old Gods is now a month old and that video's not really getting any views, and maybe everybody's seen how to set up Hearthstone deck tracker, so they don't need to look at that. One would assume that you can't just on YouTube have a video that's just like every week getting thousands and thousands of views. I just don't think that happens.
Job's done.
Even if it was, well, you've got like Rebecca Black's Friday, and Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. That's about the only videos I think you might get a consistent number of views on there, and you certainly could do it without a music things too. But an average video, I don't think. I think people will eventually just tire of it, burn it out. And certainly, I can't really grow my channel to anything if I just said, well, I've done the best I can and no more new creation, and I'm just gonna live off the views I'm getting from all my other videos. That'd be ridiculous right now. It would be ridiculous even if it got me, if I at some point did have enough views to live off of for a while. I think if in theory at one point I got like to $1 million of revenue, well then from that amount of income I could live off that, certainly, but that's not anywhere realistic as far as it's gonna happen. It is definitely a weird situation because I don't know what I can do to improve, which is not exactly the same as saying I don't know what to do to improve, because I kinda do. I kinda know what I should do is play new games. Be at the forefront of playing new games. I think that's pretty obvious, but I can't really afford that. It's just not there. The income's not there. And we're still very much waiting for E3 to happen. It's taking forever for that to come about. Let's go ahead. This guy needs 4 more damage to him. Once E3 comes out, maybe we get some more games on the way, but I'm not even really sure of that. I think with the new console series, we've run into this issue of things simply taking way too long, and us just being very, very limited in what we're going to get here. I guess I have to kill this guy. Hit this. Hit this. Hit this.
Job's done.
In the turn. I still have a few games on the list though.
I must safeguard the land.
I don't know what else I could do to my channel. The real issue is I think I should,
Did you bring some fish?
if I wanted to really grab people's attention, I think I should do something that no other YouTuber is doing right now. Just something completely new and unique, and that's a very tall order. It's how do you do something completely new and unique? Alright, let's see. This one. This one. And then this one. And this one.
Job's done.
If I can survive this next turn, I should be alright.
Where shall I strike?
I hope. Alright. This. And then this. We've got this here. This here. And then we've got 7, 12. So that's not gonna work. So we have to do this. This.
Well played.
And this. And then the turn. I'm just falling further and further behind, and there's really no parachute here other than the one I've made. As soon as I run out of videos, I mean, if I don't have time to make a video that would fill that one time slot, I really don't have time to make a video to say why this time slot's not filled. So it's just gonna be this. Let's see. This.
Face death.
Let's see. This one gets what? +1 health every time. So it's just gonna go blank. It's just gonna stop. Yeah, I'm gonna lose. I guess I should have killed one of those. I guess that would have been the right move. Let's move over to the other character. Not working very well here with the Shaman victories. I'm having trouble on all the decks, but Shaman was pretty bad too. Let's see. Let's play Paladin. I think we can get at least a victory there. Again, very little you get from playing Paladin once it's level 60. In theory, you're slowly grinding towards that 600 victories needed to get a golden Paladin. And I imagine there are people with golden everything, but not a significant number of people. They released a new hero character you could get, but I'm certainly not going to spend any money for that. And of course the expansion's nowhere close, since I was reading it a month ahead. So I would right now it'd be great if the expansion came out and I could just rebuild my decks. Maybe I should have rebuilt the decks a little bit quicker. That would certainly be a thought. If like halfway through the next expansion or when the next expansion gets announced, maybe I should do a deck rebuild right then. Certainly would probably help with catching back up, but Hearthstone still by far is way further ahead than anything else.
I wonder.
Finally have technically cleared everything that's gonna clear with Lego Batman 3. So it's kind of a sad statement. I'll have to go edit some sections right out of the Lego Batman 2, 1, and maybe even 1, and maybe even 3. There's like 4 videos that simply just they refuse to admit were fair use, and I just don't have the energy and guts to do the right thing and fill out the paperwork and tell them to sue me. Because you're talking to one music group and they may very well do it. They probably won't, but I just don't want to risk it. Don't want to risk an entire channel, and I don't want to risk a copyright strike. And if I knew I was gonna not record anything for a really long time, that might be something, but it still doesn't seem right to me to do that. At the very least, the thing that I can never really lose, unless I lose my channel, is that this is a historical archive of the games I've played starting since I made the channel. That's the very least it can be. And I wouldn't want to lose that archive. Yeah, I'm gonna lose this though, suddenly. Well, I guess I have to kill him.
Powering up. Portals online.
I don't know. Once my channel got bigger, maybe I'd start asking for donations of some kind of legal defense fund type thing, but I'm not getting donations now for anything, which is kind of typical of, I think, YouTube in general, is you just don't ever get donations.
For justice.
I heard of somebody who'd been doing YouTube for 5 years and they barely gotten $500 checks, and I'm like, you know what, that might be my channel. That very well may be my channel. It could be that I've peaked as much as I can and there's just nothing, there's no way to convince more people to watch my content, because I don't know, people don't like my content, I don't do a good job at it. I certainly have changed a lot as I look back on the 100,000s. I started very personality based, very silly, and I kind of burned out before even the first series that ended with the Binding of Isaac and FTL things. Now I'm much more serious about it, trying to be as professional. I mean, I'll have fun every now and then. I mean, if I ever get around to actually doing Honey Pop, I'm gonna have fun with that. But a lot of times I do play bad games and I say these are bad, or I play good games and I say these are good. And there's not really anything more I can think about to even say about it, which is kind of a shame. Let's see.
justice.
Is anybody gonna die if I attack this guy? Besides this guy. This guy's gonna die. Darn it.
I must move quickly.
I can take the hit. I am ready.
I might be able to control this and win. Maybe. Go ahead.
But of course.
Attack here.
For justice.
Honestly, doing Binding of Isaac FTL, it went on for so long, and those were two games that in particular were really long play games, very long play games. There we go. There's my love. That you could get into conversations like that. The only place where conversations like that could even fit now are very much like if I was doing 3 really long Hearthstone episodes, I could start talking about something if there was anything to talk about. In the United States, there's just some dumb TV stuff that I'm more and more realizing, and should have realized a long time ago, that is awful, has always been awful, and always will be awful. And then there's a ton of dumb political stuff coming on that I refuse to actively talk about, because that would just be a nightmare in itself and only cause criticism. If I'm gonna go crazy and start talking politics on this channel, I should just start a different channel completely. That's not what this is about. This is about video games, and I'm not gonna change this channel ever to something that's not video game, at least somewhat adjacent. If I was gonna start a different channel, I would just start a different channel. There is some tricks to starting different channels. Definitely, you can, it seems like in YouTube, effectively create a secondary channel that's like clips or adjacent material to your first one. Get all the people who've subscribed from one to subscribe to the other, and then potentially, I guess, keep things somewhat organized. So if I was, for instance, to stream video games, just really long plays, that could be its own separate channel. Or if I was to do, I don't know, songs or comics or something about games like that, that could be its own separate channel. If I was going to have someone else play my games, then that would be a separate channel because it's someone else, but you could try and connect the dots somewhat there. Let's see. And then this, and then this.
Reporting for duty. Job done.
Of course, right now I have like 63 subscribers, so that's certainly not any kind of trick you would do at such a low level. There really isn't any real good tricks at a low level, not things that are allowed by actual YouTube. It's just trying to make great content. And certainly on that point, there's stuff I could try to do and spend more time on the content, edit it down, and go a different direction because of that, that I'm just not really willing to do that right now. Maybe at some point in the future I would be willing to do that, though. Why did I do that? I had the perfect defense to that. Oh well. I should not have attacked him. I could have just done it with noble sacrifice. I suppose if I've done all the old games, and there's no reason to play an old game again. I mean, this is really putting you in the weirdest of most unrealistic positions ever. To say, yeah, maybe in the future I've played all games that have ever existed up to this point that I actually want to cover. And now I'm just... and now I have nothing to do with my time. Yeah, maybe at that point you could see where you would want to do some editing. But I don't really buy into that, because if that's really the... let's see. If that's really going to be the case, that I have just all this free time, why would I edit anything out of the gameplay? Like The Witcher 3 is a great example here. That's a brand new game. What would I really wanted to edit out of that? Nothing. I was forced to edit out the nudity in it, unfortunately. And
Thank you.
I suppose now with the blocking and pixelating, I could have maybe gotten away with just pixelating now. Often I wonder, but I'm not willing to risk my entire channel on it, if you could have gotten away with just doing nothing at all.
Reporting for duty. The battle!
There we go. Victory finally. So there's 50 gold, plus another 10 gold. And we only need one more victory from the shaman, and then we'll have reached our goals. And I believe that's going to put us somewhere, I think, over 600 gold extra, which is a nice place to be at. I wish it just wasn't in the game of Hearthstone, which I'm losing steam and interest on, and probably lost interest in a long time ago. Of course, I can't get rid of it until I find something better to replace it with. That's constantly the refrain here, is that I can't get rid of the series I want to get rid of. So yeah, if I was to make a second channel, I probably would get somebody else to play Hearthstone and put them and make a second channel just dedicated to that, and see how well that worked. And it probably wouldn't work that well. Watched a video on like the 5 worst played cards, or most misplayed cards, not worst played cards. And they were talking about how the coin was one of the most misplayed cards, and how you should save it to the 4th or 5th turn, not just use it on the 1st turn. And I think there might be some truth to it. And then it played an interesting explanation that I didn't know this, and this is something you'd have to really pay attention to. Apparently, the effects that can be triggered activate in the order that the card was played in. So if you played a card and then 5 turns down the line you played a card that triggered it, all the other cards that would also be triggered would happen after that in the order, which is
Did you bring some fish?
really difficult to try to keep that in mind. I kind of wish it happened some other way. Left to right would make more sense. Or right to left. But, so that would slightly change the effect and the outcome of a few things. Not really a lot of things though. Not on my level of play at least. Maybe on other people's level of play. People who are better players than me. So this is going here. This is going here. And I'm just gonna play this to heal everybody up and make it so he can't kill any of them. Haha.
Get behind me.
A lot of my failure on this game is definitely me not paying enough attention. It definitely is. There's no way to argue against it. But I'm putting in as much attention as I can really bother manage in my mind. It's an excuse, I know, but it's just how I feel.
From beyond the grave.
We're gonna do this.
From beyond the grave.
And then I guess I'm gonna end my turn here. I think like one more of these and this, and I mean you can't do 30 I guess. I probably won't do 30 with the bloodlust, but I'd do a massive amount. Or I could bring this guy out, but bringing this guy out wouldn't really help anything.
I'm flying!
Here we go. Let's do this. And then this. There we go. That worked. I think that turns the tide and is going to get us the victory, which would be great. How long have we been going? 38 minutes. Not too bad. I'm really looking forward to getting back to work though. Even though I am in pain in my back and
One day, I'll be a real
it's
knight.
certainly a strange occurrence.
Fine, I'll heal.
I got some pills that turned out they were for arthritis, which I actually do have arthritis, and they, for some reason, helped me fall asleep better than I've ever slept in my life, it feels like. Man, I could take these pills, and if you could take pills without side effects, which of course you can't, those increased risks of stroke and heart failure with these pills, but if I could just take them for a long time, I think I would be over my insomnia, but it makes like no sense at all because there's no symptoms listed there at all that say that they help you sleep or bring about even drowsiness or anything. But that is typical for me, isn't it? That, well, you probably don't know this, but it's
There is a lot at stake.
pretty typical in my life that medications don't work quite the way they are supposed to on me. Being a person who never really Never at all took any drugs that weren't prescribed to him. I have no tolerance whatsoever, and even the things prescribed to me never seem to really work. But oddly, the pills for my back didn't help with the back. They helped with the sleeping, but they didn't help with the back. So I'm like, well, okay, let's move on to just over-the-counter things, which over-the-counter pain pills are almost all the same and all very weak. When I was taking them for my arthritis, actually, they weren't working at all. I was taking more and more, and none of it was helping me. It is definitely silly that I'm playing video games as a person with arthritis, but as long as I can mostly focus on games that use a controller, it doesn't really seem to bother me. What tends to bother me is using the left stick so vigorously that it will put a blister on my thumb, which is no fun. Let's see.
I enjoy raiding!
Suppose I could kill this guy. Might as well. But yeah, even if I have to suffer a little bit, which I don't think I really will, I do want to get back to work because it is incredibly boring. I can't for the life of me even sit through like a Netflix series. There's really not even enough on Netflix to keep my attention. It's strange, I know, but so I'm sitting here just really doing nothing, and that might also be the reason why I'm able to fall asleep so much, is I'm just preeminently bored.
I enjoy raiding!
Let's see. Oh, that's a shame.
Fine, I'll want.
This one could do 9, this one could do 6, this one could do 3. So that would be 18 plus another 6 would be 24, I think. Right there, I can have enough if they don't kill any of the other characters. Let's see. 11 plus 3 is 14, plus 6 is 20.
Well played.
Let's see. Do this. And then do this. 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 And then this. There we go. I think I convinced him I was gonna win. Alright. What was that? That was weird. A little skip of the audio, I don't know. I tell you, these HDMI cords, I think they burn out real fast. It certainly was happening a lot in Half Minute Hero, but might be my TV's burning out too. So, how long was that? 44 minutes, almost exactly. So we're at 590, 10 more gold would get us up to 600. We can check here, Goblins vs. Gnomes is still available. The Adventure, Nixramus is still available, and we still can't do anything with the cards. So unless the people that pre-purchased are available, I just don't have an idea. And I don't think they are. It's nowhere close to May 31. Well, that's going to be it for this recording. I hope that in the next 3 days I can report back we actually got some other footage recorded. Have something to talk about at least. Anywho, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.